Alito. So we got a treat today. Well, I'm not even gonna say a treat. It's just what's been going on. It's been a lot going on, especially if you haven't been paying attention to what's been going on out in Seattle. What's been going on, and it's just been a lot. They really don't want a lot of this going on the media for coverage, and they don't want to cover. They don't want to show this at all. If you heard of Chaz, what's up, Macadon, Davita, Tasha She, Celestine, Renzo, what's up, Renzo? Genesis in the building. Derek Gray, Halito, everyone, Halito. So, has anyone heard of Chaz, C-H-A-Z? Anyone? Okay, what about Boogaloo? Anybody heard of Boogaloo? What y'all know about Boogaloo? Genesis said nope. Okay, all right. Well, here we go. We're gonna touch on. We're gonna start off with Boogaloo. All right. Here we go. Boogaloo. Here we go. We about to get it.
Actually here to support you guys.
We're against the state, bro. We're against the state. We don't like the state. Y'all like the state. We don't like the state. We're all Americans, right?
Why do you think you were here first? Why do you think you were here first?
I didn't say that.
You said you were here before he was.
He said he was here with me.
That's what. No. That's not what we said.
They said that they're with us, but they're here to make sure that there's no violence, looting, or rioting.
Oh, we don't care about that. We just don't want you touching the monuments. If y'all go burn down the police station, we won't stop you. We won't stop you burning down the police station. We don't give a shit.
No matter what.
If you guys want to go hit the police station, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. That's it.
What year was that battle? What year was that battle, baby? You're asking?
That's right. Remember, it's everybody's Alamo. It's everybody's Alamo.
Pussy, run! Pussy's fucking right out of here! Y'all ain't gonna do shit!
So basically, these are far right extremists. They can be in multiple groups. And as you can see, they say they're here to protect the country, blah, blah, blah. They will go to war, blah, blah, blah. So I just got a whiff of them today. I'm going to show you who I got a whiff of them, because we got a lot of people coming on that's going to talk about this. And then I'm going to get into, what's that, anonymous zone. All right, here we go. Check this out.
This country is dead. I posted a video from somebody about some boogaloo. It's time to boogaloo. I don't know if it's time to boogaloo or not, but I'm with those who are boogalooing. I'm with that. Boogalooing. Action. This country is dead. I posted a video from somebody about some boogaloo. It's time to boogaloo. I don't know if it's time to boogaloo or not, but I'm with those who are boogalooing. I'm with that. I'm with protecting my people.
So I had to dig in. I had to look up the boogaloo. I'm still confused. They said they are only protected at monuments, right? Because they want to protect their history. But hold on. Let me get this up. They want to protect their history. So before I got into that, the boogaloo just hit me, okay? I was going through the definition and see who they were, you know, blase. And before we got to the boogaloo, I came up with anonymous. I keep saying autonomous. I'm sorry, y'all. All right, here we go. So, what y'all know about this right here? Anybody know about this right here? Let's give y'all a minute. That's right, agent. That's right. To me, it look like they're just trying to tear up our stuff. All right, here we go. Let me see. I want y'all to get this right quick of what it is.
Welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. We're about to bring you what has become, unfortunately, a nightly update on
if
the
I can get
descent
y'all
of our
caught up
nation
real
into
quick.
chaos and craziness, a lot of craziness. For more than 2 weeks, this is really all we've covered. There's that much going on right now. We can't cover it all in an hour. Almost all of it, as you know, all the news, is horrifying. Vandals are defacing our country. They're destroying our cities, our institutions, our civil society. They have no right to do any of that. They don't own this country. They did not build it. The rest of us should not allow them to wreck it, but we are allowing them. And it's infuriating to watch. We've definitely been infuriated, genuinely. If you've watched this show, you probably noticed that. And tonight we want to apologize for that. Here's why. The last thing America needs right now is more anger. Yet another red-faced screamer shouting about this or that. And to the extent that's been us, we're sorry. We genuinely want to help fix this disaster. So adding to the sum total of rage does not help. Going forward, we're going to continue to be as honest as we can. That's our duty. Above all, we try to be honest on this show, sincerely. But we're also going to work to be calm and amused because, honestly, what's the option right now? Keep your sense of humor. That's what they tell you when things get really dark, and it's good advice. Humor brings perspective. All of us could use some perspective right now.
Check out how you break this down, y'all.
I want to begin tonight with a geography quiz. Here it is. How many countries are there on Earth? Last week, there were a total of 195. But if you guessed that, you're wrong because tonight, there are 196. Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to the latest addition to the global family of nations, the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, formerly known as downtown Seattle.
City Hall! Our City Hall! Who's City Hall? Our City Hall!
The point is, in the end, this is our street, it's our station. Whose streets? Our streets! Whose streets? Our streets!
Well, that looks pretty appealing, but before you jump on Expedia to book a trip with the family to the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, now known, by the way, as CHAZ, the country's Tourism and Economic Development Department is calling it that, you should know that there are no beaches in CHAZ. This is a tiny nation. It's smaller than Liechtenstein. The entire country extends only 6 city blocks. It was built on land that was formerly owned in part by the Seattle Police Department, but the founders of CHAZ wanted that land. So they planted a flag and they stole it, just like the conquistadors. The first thing they did after they declared nationhood, and this was a bit of a surprise given that these modern conquistadors claim to be progressive ideologues, but the first thing they did was establish rigid national borders. They built a wall around the place, just like Donald Trump once said he would do. Their wall is made from wooden barricades. A sign at the entrance to the country warns, "You are now leaving the USA." And then there are armed border guards, not technically ICE agents, but close enough, who question everyone seeking entry. Countries have borders, and the founders of CHAZ understood that. They don't want the place flooded with illegals. And by illegals, we mean the citizens of Seattle.
We have been hearing from community members that they have been subjected to barricades set up by the protesters, with some armed individuals running them as checkpoints into the neighborhood.
Well, that's pretty smart. You can't let just anyone into your country. An uncontrolled flood of immigrants would tank the economy, and the people of CHAZ know that. They're not libertarians. They don't work for the Chamber of Commerce. They're not giving you some speech about how immigration makes you richer. They're realists. They want to make this work for the sake of their people. And they don't have much to work with. What exactly is the economy of CHAZ? It's tough. With limited natural resources and a population with virtually no skills of any kind, apart from spray painting the F word on public buildings, they lead the world in that, the people of CHAZ don't have a lot of options for economic development. So they've gone with extortion through violence. Again, just like the conquistadors. It's a time-tested formula, and it's lucrative.
We have heard anecdotally reports of citizens and businesses being asked to pay a fee to operate within this area. This is the crime of extortion.
Well, like the nation it broke from, its mother nation, the United States, the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone is what political philosophers call a proposition nation. It's a country based on an idea rather than particular people. The founding idea in CHAZ, its Magna Carta, its Constitution, its raison d'etre, is that cops are bad. Very, very bad. The police are bad and should be abolished. So not surprisingly, CHAZ has banned police from its territory. The surrounding city of Seattle seems okay with that decision. I mean, does the government of Italy dictate local policies within the Vatican City? No, of course not. It's autonomous. Same thing here. What's amazing, though, is that the leaders of CHAZ would like to dictate policies in the city of Seattle. And so they're demanding that Seattle get rid of its police force and close all jails and prisons. At this point, Chaz has not yet been admitted to the UN. Presumably there's an email headed there now. But as the Seattle Police Chief Carmen Best explained, the country already has recognition from the Seattle city government.
The decision to board up the precinct, our home, the first precinct I worked in, was something I have been holding off. You should know, leaving the precinct was not my decision. You fought for days to protect it. I asked you to stand on that line, day in and day out, to be pelted with projectiles, to be screamed at, threatened, and in some cases,
all right, y'all. Make sure y'all can hear me. All right, now y'all check this out. These folks then took this city, all right? This guy is speaking in so much code. That's right. It's a lot going on over there, and I've been watching news, and a lot of cities is watching Seattle. A lot of cities is watching Seattle right now. They don't want it to happen there, okay? The Democratic mayor is allowing it. It's cool with it. No problems with it. Like, yo, Trump, chill out. Let the people speak. So it's like, are they showing us what we supposed to be doing? Are they trying to show us what we supposed to do? Or are they trying to set us up for the okie doke? So let's see what the mayor of Seattle had to say about all this.
Who we are is the right to challenge authority and government is fundamental to who we are as Americans. We do not need anyone, including the president, to try to sow further divide, further distrust, and misinformation. The threat to invade Seattle, to divide and incite violence in our city, is not only unwelcome, it would be illegal.
So she's saying if y'all do, if the president, because the president got on and said, yo, you supposed to been took over the city, and if you don't take over your city, I'm going to take over. I'm going to go ahead and snatch it back right quick. It's not going to be very hard. This is what Trump said, okay? Now, the mayor's like, yo, it's against the law, so now they coming at him with law. It's against the law to do this. You got to let the people speak, da-da-da-da. Now, they're walking, holding up signs saying, that's right, Waldo, it's a setup. That's what I see anyway. But check your email, Mr. Waldo. You should have a link so you can come on in. But what I was trying to say was, they're just, he threw me off, Mr. Waldo. Yeah, but at the end of the day, we got to really, really be careful of what they're showing us. Oh, they're walking around holding Black Lives Matter, okay? And they're trying to act like it's us. It's not us, as you can see. It's mostly everybody but us. So I had a clip of someone that's inside the zone area while I wait on people to come on in. It's a real short clip, about 2-3 minutes. And she's going to explain to you what's going on inside this, a.k.a. Chaz New Nation, all right? So let's check out.
Right now, for tonight, people are just kind of enjoying themselves, having, different discussions with people that they, friends, family, people that they're just meeting for, the first time. It's kind of a jovial atmosphere, but at the same time still making sure that we keep a focus on what it is that we're here for. And so after tomorrow I can have more for you on what it is that people are going to do moving forward and what people's long-term goals are. However, the main goal, I would say, that I could say right now, is that people are calling for the defunding of police, nationwide. We've seen this Minneapolis City Council already, completely disband or vote to disband the Minneapolis police. We're calling for the same thing here in Seattle. We're calling for a complete defunding of the police, a complete reallocation into black and brown communities where it's needed the most. And so that is definitely a goal of people. I would say the number one goal for right now. There are a whole other list of demands, and I can link you to some of the pages if you would like. And wow. Demand and how with the free pizza, with the mutual aid, the medics, everybody's just like looking out for each other, literally an autonomous zone. There are no police around here. Everything is extremely peaceful. People are talking, having conversations, they're learning. For a lot of people, especially a lot of white people right now, it's learning about defunding the police or abolishing the police is like something brand new to them. They don't understand, they've never heard of the concept, and they think it's impossible. And a lot of people still believe that the police are our friends, they protect us, and for some people they do, but for most of us they do not. And showing people statistics and about how people, or about how the police really don't do a lot to protect us. They're given all of this funding, and the funding itself is just mind-blowing. The NYPD alone gets a $6 billion a year budget, and here in Seattle we have a $400 million budget, which is outrageous. It is literally half of our general fund. It is half of Seattle's budget. And when we're breaking it down to people and letting them know, all of this funding, it's like you're literally creating a world where you need police. If you were to take that funding from the police and put it into communities that really need it, for de-escalation, for medical services, hospitals, education, the list goes on and on.
Everything but us.
There really is no need for a police. We can police ourselves, and that's one of the biggest concepts of this autonomous zone.
Here we go.
Letting people know that we can peacefully work together, and we can, we don't need a police force. We just don't need them. We can do it all on our own, and it is difficult. It doesn't happen overnight. But that was a lot of the things that Occupy Wall Street was talking about, and the defunding of Wall Street and
the defunding of Wall Street, and we're gonna defund the police so we can start a purge around this. It sounds like a purge to me. It's just what it sounds like to me. I don't trust these far left, far right groups. You got to be very careful with yourself dealing with these groups. Now, wait a minute. Renzo says Seattle is named after melanated chief, but is full of pale Caucasians and Asians. My sister stay out there. It ain't too many of us out there. You sure right about that. You hit that dead on the head. Defunding police, what is that going to do? Sound like it's going to let them be able to go back to their criminal ways. You got to remember who came over here. That's just what it sounds like to me. I ain't trying to start no mess. They need to get rid of the police union, not the police. Come on. Like someone said the other day, all police ain't bad. And all white folks ain't bad. But you got to be careful. Because all brothers and sisters ain't good. Y'all know that. So, if you look at this, you look at, okay, I'm in Atlanta. And how many groups that's melanated, that's willing to give this a try? Like, hey, they didn't kill them, right? That lady also said that people are sending them money from all over the country keeping them with food and water. How many Indians you know that's gonna send food and water to us taking 6 city blocks in downtown Atlanta? Or they just gonna get the green light to just start shooting? What is gonna be? It's a trick. They tear up our cities, and we getting blamed for it. What's the main punchline? Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. That is the punchline. Hey, let me see, Mr. Waltho, did you get that link? Phoenix just put it in the chat for you. That's a link. Make sure I sent. Yeah, there it is. Oh, it won't let me copy and repost. Oh, okay. All right. So I had put together these little clips today to show what was going on. Where you at, Indian Mac? I sent the link to your email, and it's in the chat, so you can just snatch it. But I put these together to kind of show what state that they're trying to put everybody in, especially with the Boogaloo. These folks is wearing Hawaiian shirts, full tactical gear, and you see they got young folks out there, and they only protecting the monuments. That's it. He said, we don't care nothing about the police department. Burn it down. What's up, Jay? So you got to watch these extremist groups out here tearing everything up, coming through our communities, acting like tagging everything like their gang, BLM, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. So you got the far leftists, Antifa, Black Lives Matter. And then another thing I checked out is, I know y'all checked this out. Why do they have all of our celebrities repping Black Lives Matter? It seems like every last one of them. Not some of them, all of them. Did y'all see the David Chappelle special? I seen Queen Latifah talking about Black Lives Matter. They even got the little rappers out here talking about Black Lives Matter. What's good? What's good with you?
Man, what's up, Coach? What's the deal, bro?
Man, just going through all this craziness that's going on. I seen you did something on, I believe you did something on Black Lives Matter earlier.
Man, ain't nobody going to their website. Ain't nobody. When you go to Black Lives Matter, look at their website. Go to About Us, and it'll tell you what they're fighting for. They fighting for inclusion, or what's the other word, Coach? When they want to integrate people, mix all the people up. Can you hear me, Coach? No, I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
You talking about integration, I think?
Yeah, it's integration, but it's another word for it. Okay, but anyways, if you go to their website, they're talking about integration, they're talking about homosexuality, they're talking about even fighting for people with criminal records, meaning the pedophiles, because you know they got the LGBTQRSW and all this other shit added with it. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot I'm on No Grandma Killers channel. But yeah, they're fighting for pedophiles. Like, y'all need to pay attention to what you guys are fighting for, because what you fighting for will go against you 100%. Oh yeah. And then did you hear that one video clip about the Boogaloo from that one dude with the struggling mohawk? They man, look, if y'all learn anything, because I'm gonna do a video on this too. De facto and de jure. De facto and de jure. Two separate things. There's another entity here living, they could be living next door to you, and you not even know it. And by you not knowing your laws that your ancestors created, that your ancestors fought for, you're going to be siding with the enemy to get rid of you. You're exterminating yourself. And this is real. This is deep. Actually, there's a video today where it was a person of color in Seattle, and he it was real quick. They showed the clip of him real quick. They was trying to show the whole protest, but he was saying we are protesting, but there's other people trying to purposely be violent, but they cut him off real quick. There's video of that. So these white people have infiltrated. Oh, go ahead, Coach.
You right on the head. You hitting the dead on.
Yeah.
They're not really infiltrating. I think if you really look at it, all they're really doing is, at the end of the day, they're just starting up some shit and hoping you go along with it.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? Let's go over here where they at, marching peacefully. Let's drop some bricks off where they're going to be marching at. That's when they get right here in the middle of the crowd. Let's start tearing up some shit and see how many go along with it.
That's a war
tactic. We need pictures of them tearing up shit.
Yeah.
Like I seen that video of, I think the brother name is Tucker, whatever, or the one I just showed. And he was showing just, all you seen was us come robbing the stores. You didn't see nobody else. You just seen us robbing the stores. I'm like, they still push, even though they pushing Fox, they still showing us. No matter who it is, they both are showing us, both of them. All the CNN, the Fox News, so no matter if they're fighting with each other, they all showing us.
Yeah.
So no matter how you play it, we still the target.
But at the same time, a lot of them is not us too. We got to take that into accountability. Accountability. A lot of them is really not us too.
I think I lost Mac. Did I lose? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello, hello?
Yeah. I see somebody trying to come in.
You hear me, Coach? Coach, can you hear me?
I hear you now.
Wow, that's crazy. So you wasn't able to hear me this whole time?
Nah, it's like it just blocked us out. It blocked me out. I couldn't hear nothing.
Wow. So what was that last part you were saying? Because I know I said a lot of them are really not us. So we have to take that into accountability.
Right. I was just saying how they're using, like Tasha said, our energy. They're plotting. They're waiting till they get in the middle of the crowd, tear up some stuff, and then here you go. You know, we in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And they were showing clips how they was paying brothers to go tear up some stuff. So it's like, okay, now we got to stop falling for the okie-doke. It's almost like I got to go get me 1,000 brothers and go downtown and just to watch the folks protesting. And as soon as they come trying to tear up stuff, especially our businesses, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're going to have to start protecting that stuff. It's really just protect the city, and show footage of us protecting our city so we can have something left to us tomorrow. I think, Mac, I don't know where Mr. Waltho just went. Oh, here you go, here you go.
What happened with Mr. Waltho?
No, here you go. He coming back. I see he coming in now. But that's something to really think about. That's something to really, really think about.
That is. But people are confused. People don't know what side they on or what side they should be on. And that's the game changer right there. Because if you got people thinking that they black, if you got people thinking that they fighting for rights, when really this is not your war. This is the Pale Man War. They're fighting for rights. And I'm gonna repeat it again. If you go to congress.gov or .org, whatever it is, You're going to, if you look for Native American rights, they are fighting to have rights. They are the natives, the Native Americans. Don't nobody want to believe it, but you better believe it.
What's up,
what's up, Kay?
What up? Can y'all hear me?
We hear you good.
Yo, peace to the chat, man. Much respect to everybody here. Peace to Coach. Mac, you already know what it is. Peace to Sister Moon. I'm just listening for right now, but much respect to y'all, man.
All right. No, we got Mr. Waltho. Oh, he just dropped out again.
Is it a connection problem?
I think he came in and I had him. He was down in the bottom, and as soon as I clicked him in, I guess he thought he couldn't hear us and clicked out. Mr. Waltho, you good, man? Come on in. So we really gonna have to I don't know if we have to mobilize in our community to just protect our community at the end of the day, because they only tearing up our stuff. If you look at the march in Chicago, they went up to Roseland, which is out in the hundreds, which is really mostly residential area. And they just went down there and tore up everything on the strip.
When? Recently?
No, this is, I mean,
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it's like last week. But what I'm saying is, if you ask the people that stay there, it wasn't us that was going through there tearing that stuff up.
That's
and
because
then after it was tore up, then we went in there and got what we needed after they didn't tore the stuff up.
But that's stupid. Because you know what? Well, if you tear down your own neighborhoods, your own economy, I mean, you can't do nothing with no TVs. After what, 5-10 years, the way they make TVs, that won't last long. When you steal drugs and liquor, that's not gonna last long. When you steal any of these products, they're not gonna last long. And then you got to worry about people who need their medication. So you like I said, you're destroying your own people. You're destroying yourself. You talk about spending black money and circulate black money. Well, how can you do that when you let somebody run over you and destroy your stuff? It makes no sense.
That's what's going on, though. That's what's going on. They're tricking you, especially not really tricking you. They're taking the ones who really have no knowledge of self, got nothing going on, just out there, out and about, and just out there just looking for something, and they just catching them. Hey, man, here go $50. Go do that. Oh, here go $100. I got $100 if you go do something. Now, just think, a regular kid on the block with no check, somebody run up like, look, you do this for $100. Man, you know he about to do it.
Mm-hmm.
What you need? I see little kids at the stop sign on Stewart in Atlanta or Metropolitan selling bottles of water. And I shot them all some money just because they out there hustling. Just think if somebody pulled up, I'm like, hey, little man, I got a job for you. Here go $500. I need you to do something for me. You don't think that little boy going to jump in that car?
Hell yeah, he is.
That's right.
You see, Coach, we need to address this issue as well, too. Are you Negroes, thugs, or are you civilians? Because if you are a civilian, why are you going by street codes and street rules? Like, for example, if you are a civilian, why are you allowing thugs to tell you don't snitch or don't tell? Thugs work together to tear down stuff. I'm trying so hard not to swear. I'm trying so hard not to curse. Thugs are working to do dirt and harm in your neighborhood. Some of them.
Right.
So if you are a civilian, you need to be telling. If you are a civilian, you need to protect your neighborhood. If somebody is trying to destroy your neighborhood, you or you and your people need to get together and stop them thugs from destroying your stuff.
Okay. Just like gangs back in the day when they got off the path, gangs was created because the white folks used to come across that line and used to terrorize folks, right? Especially in the city of Chicago, right? This back in the 50s. And as they started growing and getting bigger and bigger, they started extorting the businesses in our community. Then other gangs was created to stop them gangs from extorting businesses in the community. But
Mm-hmm.
before it was all over with, they always doing the same old, same old.
Same old, same old.
So it was like no matter how good and tinted it was when it started, right now it's not a good look. And you got all these different fashions. Well, I mean, people don't look at it. All we think of is Atifa. I'm just learning about the Boogaloo. I ain't know nothing about no Boogaloo.
Wait,
I
you
knew
learned today?
nothing. Yeah, I had to do once I seen the buddy with the mohawk talk about the Boogaloo. I had to go see what the hell is the Boogaloo. So I had to go look it up.
Boy,
and as soon as I got into it, I'm like, okay. To me, it says far right, but to me, they're all Democrats. To me, that's just my opinion. Because if you look at how we was talking about the other day with the Republicans and how the Democrats sent the KKK in there to threaten the Aboriginal Republicans that was in office. Who took their place? It wasn't Republicans.
It was the KKK.
That's right. That's right. They took them seats. So that's why they say the same birds. The same feathers. Same wings. Same bird. You know what I'm saying?
Birds of the feather flock together. I know what you mean.
Same thing.
And see that if we don't know that type of I'm glad you said that story, because you have Moors who go tell that same story, and those who are unaware, the Moors tell a story about, these people pushing out the colors. But see, the Moors say the white man pushed out the Moors and they hung the Moors. No, that's not how the story went. Back in the 1800s, they was hanging Indians that was in office. They was trying to run them out of office. They ran some of them out of office. And the situation Coach talking about more recent times with the Democrats, history is repeating itself. It's repeating itself.
All over again, yep.
All over again.
Somebody been reading, was like, yo, if you do this, remember, this is the home of the brave. And you got to remember, it wasn't none but crooks that came here in the beginning. So we just can redo this all over again. We can start over.
Yeah. Yeah, we could. But in order to start over, we have to have trust. We have to trust in one another. We have to identify who is who. Because it ain't no just letting anybody be amongst you and your people. You have to identify who is who, what is their purpose, what do they want, what are they here for.
Genealogy.
You said what, Coach? Say that again?
Genealogy.
You're going right back to that.
That's the only way you can identify. I don't care what y'all look alike. Man, you better go do that paperwork and go find out who them folks is.
Yep. Because it could be somebody who look totally opposite of you, but still have brown skin. Like, for example, Coach, you have a nose bridge. You have a nose bridge and your nostrils ain't wide. From what I'm looking at, it don't look wide. Another person can have a short nose, like a nose with no nose bridge, and a wide nose, and y'all could be from two different tribes, but y'all still have the same skin complexion. But see,
right.
in modern times, the regular Negroes of today would be like, man, that's my brother. That's my African brother. And, his hair might look like carpet bugs while your hair is long. Your hair grows long. So we got to stop with the color thing and thinking everybody is kin folks and we all the same people. That's not true. That's not true.
That's fact.
Hold on 1 minute. Hold on.
I think we got, let me see this, Mr. Waltho coming in. Just give it a minute, Mr. Waltho. It's going to come on through. They're going to say we the new mafia. Yeah, they're going to say we tearing our own stuff down. Here we go right here. Alito. I think that's Mr. Waltho. Let me see. Yeah, that's Mr. Waltho. Can you hear me, Mr. Waltho? Let me see if we can get, he's not muted. He should be able to come on through good and clear. Unless they got some storms between me and him. But yeah, this is a bad situation, everyone, with what's going on in Seattle. Because, hey, Mr. Waltho, I can hear you now. Mr. Waltho, I hear you. I hear something in your background. I can hear something in your background in your speaker. All right, while he's getting his mic and stuff together, how many groups that we already have that's gonna try to mimic what they're doing, and how you all think that's gonna work for them?
All right, I'm back.
All right.
Be honest with you, bro. Let me ask you a question. How many groups do we have that's even, you know what I mean, properly prepared for something like that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Do we have a group of, 30, 50 weapons trained men or men and women who are even, even localized to combat something like that? Let's say, for example, in Seattle, is there a group in Seattle that can pull up and be like, all right, we see what y'all doing, and we don't want no problem. We just want to let y'all know, we out here too. We just gonna mind our business and y'all do y'all thing. Just don't go too far. Y'all got the launch, shit like that. Like, part of my friends.
I don't see Seattle bucking, K, at all. Really, on anybody coming out there. They want is us to come out there. To be honest with you, they hoping, because as I was looking at the videos, it was some sprinkle of us in there through there, out there minding our business. But majority is not us though. It's some off the radar sovereign Oregon folks. I think that's the best way to say it.
No, I get you. So, all right. So let's say it was in, Atlanta. You know what I'm saying, or Chicago. Like, the thing that my thought is always this. If it happens to you where you at, how many people can we call on? You know what I mean? Because it ain't really real until it touches down on you. So whoever in Seattle, everybody got their own opinions about it. Some people are not going to even react the way we're going to react with it. You know what I mean? Some people just going to see it as, they protesting, whatever. But if it goes too far, you know what I'm saying, in wars, you got collateral damage. Sometimes people are affected that you don't want to be affected negatively. You know what I mean? But, some people feel like these things got to be done, so they do whatever got to be done. You know what I mean? So, in the overflow, you know what I mean, if we are negatively affected because of the way the government responds, you know what I'm saying, if they gonna want to go ahead and send the, the weekend warriors and shit, get the National Guard down here, you know what I mean, and turn it into something else, now we're all affected, you know what I mean? So even if we think, they doing this for show, even if we think, they ain't gonna do nothing to us, all right, you know what I'm saying, the ramifications that come along with this type of warfare acts, because these are acts of war, you know what I'm saying? These type of warfare acts, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got to understand, we in the middle of this. We literally sitting in the middle of a war zone trying to stay neutral, and you can't do that, man. Like, you got to pick a side, you got to bust your move or find your people, you know what I mean, and figure out who can help you maintain if things go wrong. We all want to, hope for the best, you know what I'm saying, but be prepared for the worst. So if you don't have people around you that can help you, at least, you know what I mean, defend yourself if something like this is happening in your city. You know what I mean? Then those are the things that we really need to be thinking about, because we see these things happening more frequently, whether you believe they're psyops or not. It don't matter. If they playing just to press the line, when they press the line, it ain't gonna change nothing. You know what I'm saying? The Patriot Act took mad rights from people. They thought it was a game. The 9/11, oh yeah, it's just, that's just them doing their thing, whatever. But when they took your rights, that shit was real. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? Like, you could say it's a show, but the results that, the things that the blowback is real. So, you know what I mean? I think people really need to think about, just having your local team strong and trying to find people who think like you locally. And if you can't, we're just going to be, watching it happen, and, you're going to be a victim when they come and tap on your front door.
Well, I agree with you 100%. Another thing is, how many of us are afraid of guns? Because, for so long, they've been telling our women and men, don't have guns, and You know, and then our women don't want the sons to learn how to handle guns. The women don't even want to touch guns. Most women, not all, but most women. So how many people is willing to stand side by side you and confront other people with guns? You know, it's a lot of people that's scared. We gotta break that scariness. You know, I mean, it's a lot of work that has to be done. A lot of work.
That's a fact. That's a fact. But you know, it's gonna be some that's motivated that want to do it too. You know what I mean? The youth coming up, they ready to get it in. These young boys, these young girls ain't scared no more. You know what I mean? And you know, a lot of our OGs, they ain't no punks, man. They just need to be properly taught. You know, and if we've been through the training, if we can, you know, send others through the training, then we all become trainers. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's the same thing we're doing right now. You know, we kicking knowledge and we passing the info along, the information on how to defend yourself. You know what I'm saying? Self-defense is very important. We all need that. You know what I mean? And, you know, protect yourself with any weapon you get. You know what I mean? Some women may not want a gun, all right? But you're going to need to have your little knife in your purse. You know what I'm saying? Know what to do with it, something on your keychain. You know what I mean? And that's fine. You know what I mean? Or just who to call when it's happening. And that's another thing that most people, like that first line of defense, if somebody violate one of the sisters, she get pulled over, or the cops behind her and she nervous, who does she call? What move do you make in that moment? Like these are, you know, contingency plans that we're going to have to make, you know, and you know, as far as finding people who are willing to do it and willing to get in the game, under the proper guidance, I think most of us would. But, you know, motherfuckers ain't just going to jump out there on some bullshit like, yeah, we're just going to go grab some guns and get the training because we're going to go to war. Like, nah, it really got to be, you know, organized around our community being properly structured and us actually protecting our women, not on some gung-ho. We just want to go out here and look like we trying to start a fight. Like, that's not what it's about, because keep it G, we're not ready for this fight. We're not ready for this, but we need to be preparing and establishing a culture of young men and women who have it in the back of their mind. You know, if it happens, we need to be prepared for that. You know what I'm saying? Our children need to know that. You know what I mean? It's got to be a common thing. So, you know, prepping for it is cool. Prepping for it is exactly what we need to be doing. But, you know, the thing is, we don't want this to happen. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, as far as jumping out there, joining the riots and all that, man, you know, yo, calm down. That ain't for us. I mean, when I see that happening, I'm like, damn, y'all got to get my boys closer to me even faster. Like, we got to hurry up, man. We really got to get to it, because if all the chips fall and, you know, alarms is going off in the city and tanks is rolling down the street, you know what I'm saying? 5-ton trucks is passing through your neighborhood. They doing knock doors. You know what I mean? Y'all, you know, people don't know what this look like, and you really don't know. If you don't have no plan of escape to get out of your little neighborhood, you're going to a quarantine area. You're going, or you're gonna be a victim right there in your house. One or the other. These types of thoughts, if it keep going the way it's going, we at least need to be prepared to say, we got us a little piece of land, a little town we done went and bought. We own our shit over here. Like, they try and play this. We're just gonna take this area. There's towns for sale, okay? There's land for sale that we can own and protect. There's a right way to do everything. You know what I'm saying? There's a right way to do everything. If you own your shit and if you protecting it, if you defending your home, that's completely different from you call yourself taking a couple city blocks in there. It's like, we got this and y'all ain't gonna do nothing. Like, if they really want to do something, them boys can't protect themselves up there with them little 6 blocks. They don't have enough ammo, man. They don't got enough munitions over there. So, you know,
not only that, all they got to do is drop a bomb. Didn't they do that in Oklahoma? Right? Didn't they do that in Tulsa, Oklahoma? Just drop a bomb?
Well, that was the first city that was ever bombed from the air with dynamite from an airplane, and that was over because, you know, that city was running it. They was running it with the I didn't mean to do that. Hold on. They was running it with the what was that? The oil. It was the oil capital of the world at the time. And they had to get it. Renzo, that city's been bought. Mr. Waltho, you can just call in. Just dial this number 678-250-3777. You can call in live, and we can hear you and talk to you live.
Hey, but one thing though, don't fall for the okie doke, man. Don't have nobody out here getting you gassed up, talking about you going out here to fight some sort of race war, or you want to go to war with the government or whatever, man. You better calm down, all right? You better try to find your family, and make sure y'all at least got somewhere to hunker down if they go down together. But don't be out here, you know what I'm saying, getting caught up because you're emotional about what's going on, and then you find yourself involved in. Well, that's why most of our youth end up going to these little wars, joining the militaries and all of that, because we motivated by what we see on TV. Then we make rash decisions. Now we out here in the middle of the world. Yeah, let them know.
Yeah, because he could be somebody who looks totally opposite of you, but still have brown skin. Like, for example, Coach, you have a nose bridge.
What up, Mac?
Ain't wide. So what I'm looking at, it don't look wide.
Can you hear me, Mr. Waltho?
A short nose, like a nose with no nose bridge.
You gotta stop your you gotta stop your you got a radio or something playing in the background, Mr. Waltho. This coach. I don't think he can hear me, y'all. Mr. Waltho, can you hear me? This coach. Nah, y'all, I'm sorry. Mr. Waltho can't hear us. So what you were saying, Kay?
Man, I'm just telling people, don't get gassed like you could go out there and win some war. Don't go sacrifice yourself for, somebody else's emotion or some views on the book. You know what I mean? Shout out to the homies that's out there, getting their peaceful protests on. I can respect that. You know what I'm saying? I got no problem with that. You know what I mean? I'm not finna do that. That ain't for me, but that's fine for those that do it. Everybody got a role to play in this game. You know what I mean? But if you really feel a way, you know what I mean? You probably don't need to go out there. You know what I mean? Because you go your ass out there, you get hit in the face with a rubber bullet. You can't blame nobody. Don't be crying later. You went out there in the middle of a protest. You notice how they giving it up. So why do we play ourselves in these situations? Don't let yourself get gassed up trying to follow people who say they want to go get into a war. This ain't time for you to go fight no war. It's time for you to really strategize, be realistic about where we at in the world. Hey, Coach, I can hear you, bro. Oh, okay. All right. So, yeah, I'm just basically telling people, saying don't get gassed, man. Don't go out there, following emotions and, wilding out, man. We got to rep right. And the main thing to do is focus on our family, and make sure that, we're realistic about where we at and what we need to be doing. And you can't get nothing done if you by yourself or if we all spread out, all across the map and we ain't really plugged in with the people who really got our back. You know what I mean? So that's really it, man.
Fact. That's a big fact. I agree. We just gotta, like he said, we gotta get back home. Like, I got a real big family here, and that's the reason why it's hard for me to leave this town, because I'm related to almost the whole town. Hold on, here you go right here. Let's see if we can get him in and get his view in. Get his view. Here you go. Mr. Waltho. Can you hear me now, Mr. Waltho?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you good. So what you had to say about what's going on, Mr. Waltho? Can you hear me, Mr. Waltho? I don't think he can hear me. Let me see.
Can't hear him either.
Now can you hear me?
Mr. Waltho, can you hear me?
Boy, they jiggling my wires hard.
Hey, when he called my phone back, I'm just gonna tell you, hey, when you come on, just just tell us what you got, because everybody can hear you. You couldn't hear him though. I don't know what's going on with that. It said normally it works fine, and today it just don't want to do right. But
so let me ask y'all something. Do y'all know what these people are fighting for?
Yeah, you know what they fighting for. Defunding the police. One group said they trying to defund the police. One group said they trying to abolish the police. What was the other one? Now, that lady said they had a whole bunch of demands, but none of them had nothing to do with us, okay?
No, it didn't. It didn't. Look, check this out. I apologize. Check this out, Coach. This is one of them. And I want everybody to listen clear. This is what these people are marching and fighting for. It has nothing to do with no damn George Floyd or whatever his name is. This is the first thing they're fighting for. defunding the police 100%, which will include defunding pensions for retired officers and replacing them with localized anti-crime systems. The second thing that they're trying to get rid of is abolishing the courts. Abolishing the courts. The third thing they're trying to get rid of is abolishing imprisonment. Abolishing imprisonment. I'm going to say it again. This is the third thing that these criminals, that these anti-government niggas is, this is what they want.
So what we're going to do with the murderers, the rapists? What we're going to do with them?
That's what I'm saying, coach. They trying to abolish the courts, abolish prison. This is why people, I try to stress to y'all, learn the law, learn the supreme law of the land. All you got to do is just read the Constitution. Once you read the Constitution, then you will see who's anti-American, who's anti-Indian. You will see it. But that's not it. The next one is retrying all persons of color convicted of violent offenses. But if you go back, it says abolishing imprisonment. So anybody who commits a crime, shit, they ain't going to jail. They gonna keep committing crimes. Yeah. Banning eviction. I want you to, this is the next one. Banning evictions. So that means a nigga could spot in your goddamn house. When I mean nigga, I'm not just talking no person of color. I'm talking about the pale nigga too, the yellow nigga too, and the Mexicans with the slick backs too. I'm talking about everybody. They trying to get rid of banning evictions. So if they ban evictions, that means you can't put them out. That means they can kill your ass and take your land or your property.
Unless, right? Unless, well, we got this, because keep it G, you know what I'm saying? We know we got this, you know, we better than them type vibe too for all of our different melanated reasons. So don't act like so now, right? Let's just play out this little theory in our head right here. All right? Let's say they really trying to get it to where it's just straight up a dog eat dog world. We back in the Wild West, right? Now right? So now we swear we superior, and it's really for the men right here. You know what I mean? Because this is the part where, all right, if it's going down, what we gonna do? Because I know we can't expect our sisters to come in the middle of this part, right? So let's just say in this world where it's time for us to step up, right, and do our part. If they get it popping like that, are we mentally prepared? I said mentally prepared to go out here and play our role in the game of life. Like,
no,
we're not ready. We're not ready.
I'm gonna tell you why. Something that we control for so long, we have lost our grip. Let's take boxing, for instance. You have the heavyweight champion of the world. What's the white dude name?
Fury. Tyson
Fury. Then you got another dude from Ukraine. As they're saying right now, is one of the pound for pound greatest boxers of all times right now from Ukraine. He knocking everything out that's standing in his way. It's like we not even mentally hungry to be the best anymore. We used to be the best of everything. And it's like we losing our grip. We're losing it.
Well, to add on to that, to add on to what you guys just said, because it's very important, the next thing that they're fighting for is granting citizenship to illegal aliens. Granting citizenship to illegal aliens. That puts more, that's giving them more numbers. The more citizenship the illegal aliens have, or the aliens period, the more they have numbers. So if we keep fighting amongst each other, or if we keep allowing other people to manipulate us, their numbers is growing. Ours is diminishing. Then we're going to have some of our people that's already fucked up and confused. They're going to join them. So that's more going against us. Man, woo. And then the next one is providing reparations for African Americans. And if you don't know what African American is, it's not a person of color.
Already done put the proposal out. The vice co-founder of BET, put a proposal out for African Americans, a one-time check for $350,000 for 42 million African Americans, is what he said, and with a price tag of $14.7 trillion.
You know how many Indians gonna be African American right then? Let me just tell you the truth. I'm gonna tell you the truth right now. You know how many gonna do it? You know how many gonna do it?
But what's the stipulations?
But I don't care what the stipulations is. If you think about it, if they print $14 trillion out and give it to Negroes, inflation is going to occur. So a pack of cigarettes now is what, $6. You're going to pay $60. If you're paying $3 for gas, you're going to be paying $30 for gas. Inflation, inflation, inflation. Watch what I tell you.
Hopefully it don't go through. But I mean, if it do go through, you got to remember this is now public record. So if those Indians do say, "Well, shit, I'm African American now," it's public record, and from then on, you already took yourself off the land and your descendants forever.
So at the meantime, between time, the most important thing for the American Indian to do, the AKA Negro is supposed to do, is find out who he is right now, because power is in numbers, and we are divided right now. I can go to church without talking about Jesus just to tell folks that, hey, y'all some Indians. I don't care nothing about that pastor. He can preach all day. Let me tell y'all who y'all grandmama is. Let's do this genealogy and find out who y'all is. You get what I'm saying? It's like it's going to have to become a trend, an uproar, what they say, somebody made this popular. Something's going to have to happen for folks to catch this train.
No, I agree. Well, it's happening right now, right as we speak. It's happening, and it's really going to happen when you start having these non-coloreds coming to kill coloreds. You know, if things revert back to the past, how women was getting kidnapped, children was getting kidnapped, you know, I don't know. I don't know if people will be able to bear that, Coach. I don't know.
How many white folks is Africans or Afrikaans?
Shit, all of them. Majority of them.
Well, we in trouble then.
Majority of them. I mean, look at the Choctaw Chickasha Treaty of 1866. It's telling you who the Africans are, and the United States was going to help the Africans, and then with the Negroes were to stay in the Indian tribes. They clearly said that.
So at the end of the day, Negroes gonna be obedient, happy, shouting, do everything right in the world to make sure they get this check. And then when they come down to it and say, hey, we need to know who your ancestors are because we only taking those that came here from Africa. Uh-oh. Somebody in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Hold on right quick, because I'm trying to read some more of this stuff to share with y'all. So just give me a minute.
So, at the end of the day, a lot of folks gonna start claiming they Ghanaians, West Africans, and I believe they'll still give them the money, probably with a stem, like they get in trouble. You got to go back to your home place. So now you catch a charge. We ain't gonna deal with you. We're gonna send you back to Africa. I'm just throwing it out there, not saying that's what they're gonna do, but it's a lot of things that I see that's happening. They took a chance. They took your platform and they ran with it. It was their opportunity. All right, let's see if we can get him in. Mr. Waltho. Mr. Waltho. I don't know why this brother can't hear me. We use this all the time.
Hello?
Yes, sir, Mr. Waltho.
What the hell is wrong with this phone?
Just speak your piece, Mr. Waltho. Just say what you got to say. We hear you nice, loud, and clear. Let me text and see if he can.
I thought I heard him at first.
Now I'm here.
I can hear.
Hello.
He sound kind of low though, Coach. You might have to put him to the mic.
I'm right here.
No, he's in the system. It's not.
Can you hear me now?
We hear you great. Say something. Maybe he can hear you.
Hello,
Mr. Waldo. What's going on?
What's happening, man?
I can't hear him.
What y'all got
hold on,
going
let me put mine on mute.
Hey, he can hear you though. Hey, Mike.
What y'all
Mac,
got going on?
Mac, just tell him, ask him what he can't just
tell
ask
me something.
him. Ask him what's his
Can you
thoughts
hear me?
about this.
Mr. Waldo, if you can hear me, what is your thoughts on the protesting that's going on in Seattle? I guess the takeover, them taking over them few blocks.
Yeah, I heard about that. I sure did.
Coach, you might have
that's
to
gonna be real. Huh?
Repeat what he's saying.
He hear you good.
I said that's gonna be a real interesting deal.
Oh, the audience can hear him? Oh, okay. Well, maybe it's me.
Yeah, the audience can hear him.
Can they
good.
hear me?
Yeah, they can hear him. Tell him, yeah, they can hear him. He can't hear me for some reason.
Can y'all hear me? That's all I need to know. I can't see nothing and I can't hear nothing.
Hey,
so
Mac, tell him
y'all
you
gotta
can hear
figure
him,
out
Mac.
some kind of way to let me know you can hear me.
No, I can't hear him.
But we can hear him. Tell him, yeah, we can hear him.
Yeah, just tell him go ahead. Tell him kick the game. Talk to us.
We can hear
okay,
him,
okay,
but he can't hear me.
I was checking that out. That's gonna cause a problem. And it's gonna cause a problem because that right there is considered treason against the United States to declare another place, another country inside of this country. That's like you declaring war on the United States. That's a takeover. That's treason. You can die for that in a time of war. So if Trump declares a national emergency, then people got some problems. Just to keep it straight. All right. But I'm gonna tell you now, all this protesting and all this stuff here, this. But I'm gonna tell you now. Did somebody say something? Can y'all still hear me? I still can't hear y'all.
I hear you good. I hear you good.
Huh? You can hear me?
Yeah, I hear
you. Cool. Well, I didn't know. I thought I heard somebody talking in the background, but it's all good. Now, we got something to talk about. Because what you fixing to see now is the modern day version of the Civil War. These people have been trying to fight this Civil War since the last Civil War ended. And they finna do it now. If you notice, the ones that's out there riding, the one that's out there tearing up stuff, the one that's doing all the damage ain't us. That's them folks. Now listen to what Trump said in his little speech, because he said, if you're a peaceful protester, I'm your best friend. But if you riding and looting, and I'm coming to get you. So who he's going to get? But them folks that look just like he looked. See, the Civil War is brewing on the background, and they're going to try to use us for it. And they're going to try to use our bodies for the casualty count for a war that ain't got nothing to do with us. Then the poor white folks fighting rich white folks trying to decide who's going to control this country. I mean, and that's all it is to it. Now, if you go back into your history books and you start back looking through the history, you'll see quickly that this ain't the first time we had to go through this. Remember during the Revolutionary War and the War of 1812, these folks was having wars between themselves. And they still having wars between themselves. But now they got you trying to choose what side of their war you going to participate in. And that makes no sense to me, because if you and you is fighting, I really ain't got no business getting in the middle of it. Y'all settle y'all shit. You see what I'm saying? But now you got us right in the middle of the day trying to settle their shit. So now you say I'm a Republican, I'm a Democrat, I'm this, I'm a that, and all they fighting over is decide if it's going to be socialism or communism up in this camp. Y'all ain't even fighting on the same level. Y'all on two different levels, man. But they done wrapped this game up so nice and pretty, and everybody taking their news from just right here with these crazy people here. You ain't getting the full story, man. I ain't even getting the full story, and I read papers from every daggone way. See, because this here, I strike it kind of funny to me that you got these riots going on in Europe, and you got people over there that can't even say George Floyd. And that's another thing that kind of bothers me, because it seems like to me, if they wanted to be protesting, they should have been protesting when that girl got killed in her apartment. When they broke up in there with their no-knock search warrant things. See, that's some nonsense. That's what Joe Biden engaged in, as a matter of fact. So see, that's how that all that is just tore up from the floor up, man. And the only thing we gonna be able to do is save us. Is we gonna have to come together some kind of way. I don't know what everybody's differences is, but it won't be long, and them differences ain't gonna make no damn difference at all. Because in the process of them shooting at each other, guess what? They still gonna be hunting us. That ain't gonna stop. Just now they'll have a license to do it, and they can do it at will. See? I'm told the whole thing in the process now. So it ain't but a few of us left. And they finna try to get rid of us. And you talking about their reparations, they gonna have to go back and prove that they actually descended from slaves before this United States give anybody a dime. All you gotta do is go try to get $1 out of Social Security office and see how hard it is. You know they ain't finna give it away just for free. So now all these people gonna have to go back here and check their genealogy. And that's gonna open up a whole nother can of worms. Because when they go back and start checking their genealogy and they don't start finding these slaves, what these folks gonna say? These people done lived and died waiting on these reparations, and when they finally get a chance to get them and it don't come to them, what they gonna do? Pandemonium and chaos in the street, because actually the only ones that can prove that they were slaves were white folks. So the white folks will get all the money anyway, and you'll still be left holding the bag with your bodies laying in the street, fighting for their money. Then you gonna be homeless and beggars in your own land. See, they got you right now where they just play with your emotions. Everything's based on how you feel. Everybody's dealing with life, excuse me, on how you feel. There's got to come a point in your life where you quit dealing with life on how you feel and start dealing with life on what you know, and start using your mental capacities instead of your emotional capacities to weave your way through this, because feelings ain't going to survive you from nothing. But your brain will survive you from a lot of stuff. You have to go with your strengths. You have to figure them out and go. And yeah, y'all was kind of right, because everybody don't know how to do everything. But those that do know how to do want to teach those that don't, because it's going to take both of them to get through what's fixing to happen next. It's going to be civil war in this country. You can believe that. You believe so? I know so. It's going to be here pretty soon, too. It's going to be here pretty soon. And then when the bloodshed is all said and done, people are going to be stunned by who's laying in the road. So what we need to do now? Well, you're going to have to do what we always do, man. You're going to have to survive. And that's going to be by any means necessary. Can't nobody tell you what you're going to have to do at this late stage of the game, man. Stay out the way. Find your people and stay around your people. Try to solidify what you can around where you at. and let these people go on and do what they intend to do anyway, because that's exactly what's going to happen. If Trump starts shooting at them rioters, he's going to be shooting at little Bobby and little Susie. And little Bobby and little Susie's mama ain't going to take too kindly to that shit. And little Susie got an uncle named Billy Bob that's just a stone damn nut. You give him a 12-pack of beer. So you're going to hear all kind of crazy stuff. You're going to see all kind of crazy stuff now. Go back and look at what was going on through the Civil War. See, that's the one thing about this country that's kind of not in our favor right now. Since the Indian Wars in the late 1800s, there haven't been any wars fought on this country, on this land. And really and truly, the majority of the people on this land don't really know how to fight no war. Even the ones that's running around in the woods playing like they know what they're doing really don't know what they're doing, because running around in the woods playing like it is one thing. When them bullets is coming back at you, that's a whole different game right there. So you go from make-believe to real life, some of that that other stuff kind of get left in the dirt. You know, take care of yourself, man. Take care of yourself. Learn how to do you some fishing and some hunting. If you can't stand hunting, do fishing, but learn how to do something. Because when they really get rolling around here, you ain't gonna be able to get nothing. And wasting bullets shooting at other people is crazy, because when the bullets is gone with you, how you gonna get you something to eat? You ain't gonna have but X amount of bullets. And once the bullets is gone, a gun ain't nothing but a stick. Let's save them bullets for something that matters. Keeping your family alive and keeping your kids alive and trying to maintain yourself. You wasting your ammunition on crazy people. Let crazy people waste their ammunition on crazy people. They come to your door, blow their damn heads off, but other than that, I'm only trying to eat. We done got too deep into this. And just like I've always said, it's all written down already. All you gotta do is read the book. When you start learning your history, then you'll see that this is just a repeat of what went on before. In the 1820s, they had what was known as the starving time for the Creek Indians. They starved them out and made them vagabonds in their own land. I said in the 1820 was the starving time for the Creek Indians over in Alabama. They starved them out and made them vagabonds on their own land. We got some issues going on right now up in the Supreme Court. 2 cases up there that came out of Oklahoma. One of them is called the Murphy case, and one of them is called the McGritt case. These cases, and Murphy case especially, got real good legs for. But what these things is trying to do is return Indian territory back to the Indians. Now, when you go back and look at what was considered Indian territory, you got Oklahoma, you got Kansas, you got Nebraska, a little bit of Colorado, and some of Missouri. Don't be surprised if it ain't a relocation bill popped up there. Maybe tied behind that money. Them reparation checks, because you know to get that reparation check, you gonna sell your soul. They ain't giving you that money for free. Ain't never been nothing in this country that you got for free. And don't never forget that, because they ain't finna start giving out nothing for free. That's not gonna happen. Now, what you fellas got on y'all's mind?
What you could have summed it up. Sound like.
Well, no, I can only see it from where I'm sitting at. Y'all out there in the rest of the world, y'all dealing with it at y'all's own particular spot. What we can use these platforms is to compare notes to make sure that everybody's got somebody looking out for them from one direction or the other. See what I'm saying? Well, we're going to have to tighten up our game a little bit too, because people like Ham Hock now, they got a whole nother problem that they bring into the game. You see what I'm saying? And just as soon as you get to where you thinking you starting to get yourself pretty much established where you gonna be, you know, somebody gonna come there and try to tear it up. My grandma used to tell me, anytime you think you got the paradise, you turn around, there's a snake. And somewhere or another, there's going to be a snake pop up on us. I thought it was Ham Hock, but I don't think that boy is smart enough to pull off half the shit he's getting accused of. I'm sorry.
So
I don't
you
judge
just
his
saying
mental capabilities
that
to
it's
be
just
that
be
good.
smart to just
Uh-huh.
be with ourselves at the very moment. Like, just stay with ourselves and survive.
Well, that's about all you're going to have to do. I mean, really, if you stop and think about it, it's too late to do much anything else. What little money you got in your pocket, you're going to need that to try to scrape together some more stuff so you can make it another day. So you got to come to a way to just kind of hunker down. Now, everybody, like, okay, well, I'm going to say this now, I may be wrong, and y'all forgive me if I am. But like out here where I'm at right now, I got family all around me. So this little area is like a little area where we posted up at. You see what I'm saying? And everybody got them little areas where you look up and it's mostly just a family around there. And the families that ain't around there, pull them in a little closer, man. Even if I don't like you, come here, because we'll fight about this when this bullshit is out the way. But I ain't trying to lose nobody. So you pull in what you can. You know, back in the old days, they used to just, that's where they used to have pallets on the floor and all that stuff there, you know. Because you just bring in everybody you can and everybody just try to work it out. You know, gonna be some frictions, I promise you that. Gonna be a lot of bumping the heads and a lot of misunderstandings, but you're gonna have to go through that part too. But you don't need to be out there trying to fight them white folks' war. You ain't got enough guns, you ain't got enough bullets, you ain't even got enough people. Let them white folks fight their own damn war. And let them quit killing Indians. See, the first time they got the Indians to join in with their fight, and the Indians got killed and they got everything. See what I'm saying? When the Indians just should have set it home. I mean that makes more sense to me. So they gonna
This
do
is
it.
part two. Like you said, Mr. Waldo, if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. Well, I could hear you. I don't hear you now.
He hear you, Mike.
Yeah, tell him to talk.
No, okay. I'm listening to him through my laptop because I can't hear him through the phone. But yeah, Mr. Waldo,
okay.
A lot of people don't understand. Like how I was telling Copper Color K, our brother that's on the panel, a lot of people don't understand that that's a whole different ball game. When okay, yeah, that's fine, you have a gun, but to be in front of someone else who has a gun and you know, your life is on the line.
Yeah, see that changes.
They don't understand how serious it is. They don't understand how serious this whole situation is.
But see,
and
here's the deal.
It's pretty much do or die. Because I know they was just talking about last year before the year before 2019 ended last year. They was talking about in California. They was saying that there were going to be more millions of people homeless in California.
Yep.
Mainly Los Angeles.
I mean, refugees.
And when you think about it, and you think about the whole COVID-19 thing that happened, the coronavirus, you know, that put a lot of people out of work. So a lot of people aren't, you know, making money. A lot of people aren't paying, you know, their bills or paying rent. Ain't no telling if these people will be able to get back to work. So this might make people homeless. And then the protesting, the rioting, the destruction of these stores, which are these people jobs. Like it's tough. It's coming true. I didn't believe it, but
Okay,
they
now
said this right before
wait,
2019 ended
slow,
last
slow
year
down, slow,
that this was
slow
going to
down,
happen
man.
in LA, and damn, it's happening. So
Slow down, man.
I don't
Let
know.
let me let me
I you know
let me
at this point,
wait a minute.
all I
Wait.
can do is just agree with you guys as far as like
Hold
everybody
on,
needs
Mac.
to get with their family.
Hold on, man.
Oh, hold on.
I
Let me
want
see.
I want everybody to look up the Nassau law. Now, you need to get a good understanding of Nassau because that's what they're trying to do. Now, I can't remember how to spell it, but if you speak it into your Google, it'll take you straight to it. It's Nassau. And once you see what Nassau is, and you see what power Trump actually has, then we'll come back and have this conversation. Because there's a reason why they're talking about stopping evictions. Stopping evictions is part of the Nassau law. You see what I'm saying? There's I don't know how many of y'all have student loans, but I would suggest you go back if you do have a student loan and check the balance on that loan, because some of those loans are actually being wiped off or wiped out. Now here in Oklahoma, I don't know what's going on, but me and my son was talking today, and these electric bills have made a significant drop. I mean, where it's really, really noticeable. And that's part of the Nassau law. That $2 stimulus check that you got back, because that's what they did, was give you back some of your money. But that $1,200 stimulus check, that's actually part of Nassau. When we had the Democratic presidential candidate, the Asian dude that was talking about the guaranteed income for everybody, that's part of Nassau. But Nassau can only be enacted or utilized under a state of emergency. So now they have to have a state of emergency. You got riots in the street. You got white folks taking over cities. You got white folks storming the Capitol with their guns. We getting close enough that he can declare martial law. The minute he declares martial law, then he declares Nassau. Once he declares Nassau, that just wiped out the old system and starts to be a new system. Because you got Nassau and you got Jassara. Because at first it was just here, now it's around the globe. And you see the same game being played right now around the globe. So, not saying that this is exactly what's coming up, but I am saying that this is leading pretty much in that direction. And you can go and you can look it up yourself, and you can read it for yourself, and you can understand it for yourself, and then you can make up your own mind. But as you watch things happen while everybody's watching the riots and stuff, y'all know they still having hearings and stuff in the Senate where they trying to put Hillary Clinton's ass in jail. So when they started that mess up, they started these riots up and started telling you about the riots and not telling you what's going on in Washington, D.C. Except for that stupid stuff where they put, when they put on that hat and that scarf. Yeah, that stuff. But you know. What else y'all got on your mind? Well, let's get it out.
I was just checking out the NASARA, National
Did you find
Economic
it?
Security and Recovery Act, was set of proposed economic reforms for the United States suggested during the 1990s by Harvard Francis Bernard. Then I was getting into it. I was digging and trying to see as much as I could while you was talking.
Oh yeah, it's interesting, real interesting. Do you know that one of the things that Trump, well, he's done a couple of things, but one of the things that Trump did when they started talking about that stimulus money is that he folded the Fed, the money people, the Federal Reserve, he folded them back into the Treasury Department where it's supposed to be anyway, according to the Constitution. Some of this stuff he's rearranging, he's putting it in line with the Constitution and pissing people off. Because they almost had y'all as socialists and you just didn't know it. Well, y'all was fixing to turn into Russia. The next step from Russia is China when you're communist. But NASARA is supposed to be able to put a stop to that. Once NASARA is enacted or enrolled or in use, 120 days after NASARA is proclaimed, every government official gets kicked out of office. And there's new elections for everybody.
And so that would be a good thing. That wouldn't be good.
That would, well, now, remember, all swords swing both ways. So, yeah, it'll be good and it could be bad, too. Because once you open it up, that opens it up for a lot of things. But it's going to have to go back to where it was by the Constitution. That's the only thing that's going to make these white folks happy is they're going to have to fall back toward that Constitution. But that Constitution say we the people. And Mac know it.
So then
and
we
everybody
become
else know it.
Republicans all over again and we take over.
Do what?
We the people. So that means we vote ourselves back in the office, back in the Republican office.
Yep. And then the slate is white clean and everybody starts over from there.
So when they try to come and try to force us out like they did the first time, we already know history and don't let it happen.
Well, now here's the deal. Because if you go back and look at history and what they was doing to people at that same time, you see what I'm saying? If you hungry and you go to somebody and say, hey, man, I'm hungry. And they say, well, I tell you what, I give you something to eat, but you get on this wagon and take your ass to Oklahoma. And you don't get on that wagon, you don't get nothing to eat. Now, how many times you going to go by there before you finally get on that wagon and ride your ass out with?
Yeah, that's sad.
Huh?
That's a sad story right there.
That's exactly what they was doing to the Creek Indians in Alabama in the 1820s and 1830s. They were starving them out. They took up all the land so they couldn't plant. They hunted up all the game so they couldn't find nothing to eat. And then when they went to go get something to eat, they tell them to go to Oklahoma. That's how the Trail of Tears worked, except for them Cherokees. And actually, the only ones that was on the real Trail of Tears is the Cherokee. That's a Cherokee story. The other ones just got sent away. It was like 239 Creek Indians died trying to cross the Mississippi River when they paddle boat sunk, and they couldn't get out the bottom of it. But they were starving them people out. If they started starving you out again, then you ought to really consider some shit, man. And since we know that this is the same thing going on now that was going on there, you see the same considerations them people had to think of.
Yeah, they done about destroyed all the grocery stores.
Well, see, now what they'll come up to you again and say, we'll give you a check, and then we'll let you stay where you stay. And you gonna become this African American thing we created. You see what I'm getting at? Or you can get on that wagon and take your ass out west. Because that's how you got classified as a Negro.
Yep. If you didn't leave.
Yeah, if you didn't leave. You take the land, they're gonna give you your own allotment. You see what I'm saying? And you stay right there, and then you a Negro. You went out west, and you could have been an Indian, but you chose to stay home. And that, I mean, people make decisions based on, what's going on in their life. Some people say, man, I'm at home. I ain't going out there. I don't give a shit what you call me. I don't like you, no. I ain't got to see you. See what I'm saying? And some people like, man, I don't even want to be bothered with y'all. I don't want to hear this nonsense. Y'all, I'm not going to be your Negro. Getting the hell on up out of here. Okay? And that same consideration is going to come to each and every one of y'all. See, this is why I was telling you got to think what you're going to do. Because any removal ain't over. Any removal ain't over until you assimilated or dead. Now, they tried to assimilate you under the term Negro. That didn't work. So now they're going to assimilate you under the term African American. That's why that shit is set up calling for African American. They want reparations for African Americans. If they want reparations for African Americans, don't that know that leaves out the American Indian? So you just got dropped off the curve right there. Then everything else they come up with from now on is going to be for the African American. And every time they say African American, the American Indian is going to be more and more forgotten. Because like Phoenix Moon say, it's easy to be an African American, but it's hard to be an American Indian. You got three groups discriminating against you because you got the white folks, you got the Native Americans, and you got the African Americans discriminating against you. That's why you had to fight with them Pan-Africans on Facebook and everywhere else. Them is your African Americans coming after you.
The natives?
That's the same.
We fight with the natives.
Natives too. Everybody. And they steady just pushing you down further and further. Now, instead of talking about you as black people and African American, all of a sudden now it's people of color. So now they done rolled you up in a whole big old massive group that involves everybody in the planet but you. Because now you are people of color instead of colored people.
So they didn't put you in this mess. You got to fight. They got you in a fight that you didn't even sign up for, basically.
They got you a fight. They got you in a fight that they telling you ain't even fighting. You supposed to be living peaceful. See, this was the bit appeal to integration. You see, doing segregation, they sold everybody this bill of goods that you need to go out and deal with the people in the white world. You can go to their stores, go to their restaurants. You can spend your money in their businesses. You see what I'm saying? Ain't nobody gonna bother you because they was looking at them communities that we had, and they was seeing that we was building up economic power. That's what happened in Tulsa. They seen us was building up economic power. We got to destroy your economic power so you'll bring your abilities out here into the general world. But when you come from your community out here into the general world, you go into the lowest part of society. And then you're supposed to work your way up. And they tell you that's the way everybody else done it. But they took you away from your strength and gave you your weakness and told you your weakness was your strength. And people actually believe it. Some people like going to Applebee's. Some people like shopping at Macy's or whatever them damn stores is. You see what I'm saying? Some folks like going to Whole Foods to buy their groceries. You see what I'm getting at? Some folks think that they really got to have the biggest house on the block and the fanciest car.
Instead of getting what they need, they're getting what they want.
No, they trying to fit into that society. What do they call it? Keeping up with the Joneses?
The Joneses. That's right.
Yes. Okay, now they got you keeping up with the Joneses, but you on the bottom and the Joneses is on top. Because you went from being in your own community, building up your own strength, providing your own self-backbone, educating your own children, to putting everything off on these other folks. And the first thing they did was push you down to the bottom. Then they looked down at you and spit on you because you at the bottom. And they do that because your ass was dumb enough to think that you could be part of that mess over there. And you never could be part of that mess over there. That's been the conflict all along, because we really don't fit that puzzle. We try to get in where we fit in, but we don't never really fit, because it's not our puzzle. When we had our puzzle, we turned the table over. We went over there and tried to get in, take our pieces over there and fit in their puzzle. It don't work. Might get close, might get real damn close by accident, but on the whole, it don't work. But now we scattered all around everywhere, instead of being right there where we could protect ourselves. Go back and look at them old communities in the 50s and the 60s. I seen a picture on Facebook from the 40s when the little kids were standing there with suits on, leaning on the front of their car. See, that was us flexing our economic power right there, and that was us inside our own communities taking care of us. Our communities didn't have crime. The prisons was not full of our people. The prisons didn't become full of our people until after they started passing these civil rights acts. And as they brought you into society, they just politely moved you right off into the prison society too. So now you became part of their slave system.
They took you out your natural habitat, basically.
Yes, they took you. That's the part about segregation. White folks didn't like segregation because they couldn't get their hands on that money. See what I'm saying? These black folks would have to go out and work in the regular community with everybody else, but when they come home, they had to spend their money in their neighborhood. So if they needed groceries, they had to buy the groceries from somebody in their neighborhood. And that money kept turning around inside that neighborhood, and it kept collecting. And you get places. This Tulsa wasn't the only Black Wall Street in this country. There was Black Wall Streets everywhere. Every time we got together and got amongst ourselves and could protect ourselves, we blew up. And they couldn't come into that economy because of the segregation laws. They own Jim Crow laws. They wrote the Jim Crow laws because they didn't think we had nothing. Then when we had started getting something, they started coming away and doing away with the Jim Crow laws.
Jim Crow came right after the Reconstruction.
Right.
That's
it started now. You got about a 12-year lag in there.
Yeah,
from the start of Reconstruction to the end of Reconstruction, we didn't have Jim Crow laws. But at the end of Reconstruction, when enough of them pale-faced squatters that came down there that they actually had acquired some political strength, then Reconstruction ended. And when Reconstruction ended, that's when you started getting the Jim Crow laws and the white citizens councils and the Ku Klux Klan. Boy, I tell you what, you better not never go and read that founding document to that Ku Klux Klan. That thing don't say quite exactly what you think it say. The original, when they first was coming back on deck, it don't say quite what you think it say. It's a different document. It's a different document. There's a different setup going on there. But that's when all that stuff started coming into force. Because now the land stealing went to an all-out frenzy. And everybody in the South got moved up north into the cities. And all them vast acres of rich farmland fell into the hands of the same squatters that came down there and started the trouble to begin with. But they tell you go north and go to work in the factories and you can make a living. What they told you.
A lot
While
of
you
us
go
got
north,
sick in those factories going north.
huh?
A lot of us got sick in those in them companies, in them plants, in them metal companies, inhaling those metal particles. My grandfather, that's how he got sick and died from working in one of those plants up in Chicago.
Yep. See, we come in, we built up all that stuff, and then they politely just moved us out the way. Well, but in the building process, we took the diseases from the chemicals they was using and all that stuff. But they sat down on our land living good as hell. And they was laughing then too, because y'all left this good fertile land and this good clean living to go live in the city and work in the dirty ass factories and be stacked up on top of each other like rats. Game kind of turned a little bit though. So you notice those riots up in Minneapolis and everywhere else, they always talking about they tearing up the black neighborhoods. Okay, well, what's going to happen when the neighborhoods get rebuilt? I almost be willing to bet you right now there won't be no black folks in them neighborhoods no more. They finna be gentrified.
Gentrification at its finest.
Yeah, and they did it just like they did down there in Tulsa. Check that out. Now this is so crazy. White folks got mad and tore up Tulsa, Black Wall Street in Tulsa, tore it up. Okay, now you got white folks getting mad, going up, tearing up black areas of town all over the country. Same damn people doing the same damn thing.
So is it too late to protect your community when they try to come and bomb your community with that BS?
Well, now a man gonna fight for his spot. I don't care. Ain't no way in the world I'm gonna tell a man don't fight to hold his ground, because that's the only way you hold ground is to fight for it. The deal is just be prepared to fight. That's what that is. 'Cause all ground is held by a fight, and no revolution has ever been fought without bloodshed. What I'm saying is when we broke off and started moving out to the suburbs with these white folks, we weakened ourselves, son. Where if we would have kept that money in our own communities and kept working on building our own communities, right now we'd have fortresses. And we wouldn't be worried about white folks, Mexicans, Chinese, Hindus, no fucking body. Africans, wouldn't need to worry about none of them. But before they did that, they moved you out into the community. And they made you a little weaker doing that. Now all of a sudden it's going to be a scramble with everybody trying to fold back in, and this is where the little friction was going to come. So that's going to be almost a necessity. You're going to be looking for people that look like you.
In 1 year, rent then doubled, and everything doubled in our time.
Yeah. Well, look at what's going on right there in them city neighborhoods. I don't know how it is. Let me clear this up. I don't know how it is where you at specifically. I know here in Oklahoma City, there's an area over here by St. Anthony's Hospital back when I was 16, 17, 18 years old, out here, toe popping and jolly hopping. You used to go over there, and that neighborhood was full of people that looked just like me. You go over in that neighborhood now in 2020, you won't see no people like me. And the houses that they lived in, that they was getting on the cheap, is $1 million homes right now. There's one house over there, I promise you, baby. I mean, when they were trying to sell that house for $11,000, it's a 3-story Victorian house. Big drafty son bitch. You go over there and look at that same 3-story Victorian house, big drafty son bitch. The price tag on it 2 weeks ago was like $1.5 million. So the neighborhood all the poor folks was living in, the poor folks can't even be caught walking down the street in now. Down at the little flop houses that the homeless people could stay in, them is single bedroom apartments now that rent for $1,200 a month.
Thanks.
See? And this is Oklahoma, dude. You got people living in downtown where it used to be you go down there and get your neck cut off. And they paying $2,400, $2,500 a month for a 1-bedroom apartment. In the area that 20 years ago you wouldn't walk through at night if you got paid for it. Because by the time you get on the other side of it, you're going to be battered and bruised, baby. Fuck around there and be naked. And hell, they took the old cat house and made it into a daggum little 4-plex apartment complex thing. There's another neighborhood over where Miami used to live at. I ate the east side of Oklahoma City. Wasn't nothing but us over there. We in there deep, so deep, it wasn't even funny, man. You go over at night, if you under the age of 30, you probably don't live on that side of town no more. And if you got on Section 8, I damn near guarantee you don't live on that side of town no more. But them white folks sure living over there. Right now. Right now, and they coming in thicker and thicker every day. They bring in the white folks and they bring in the Mexicans and they pushing these black folks out. And the more they bring in, the further out they push us. So now you see the Mexicans and the black folks fighting.
Oh yeah, it's been bad.
Yeah. Fighting for what little ground is left. And the black folks has really got their back up against the wall when you're thinking about it. Because they getting pushed in a smaller and smaller space all the time. Because once you see the Mexicans right behind them come the white folks.
Yeah, they've been trying to take the south side of Chicago. They've been.
They gonna take it.
Well, they working there. They working their way. You got the University of Chicago, and they're working closer to 63rd. They didn't redid 63rd. It don't look the same.
No. You start seeing street lights pop up that you ain't seen before, and there'd be little beautification projects here and there. All they doing is gentrification in that neighborhood. That's all they doing. Then you get homeowners associations and all that bullshit. All that comes together, man.
So you got me on. We got to come together in our communities and figure out a way to protect, especially our families and loved ones.
Yes, and even that, if you stop and think about it, is kind of hard because the way families are scattered. It used to be a joke in my family that I could go to any state in this country, and if I look around long enough, I'll find one of us there. So we scattered everywhere.
Sound like my family.
Okay, now so you see how you can see how logistically complicated that can get right quick. But I've been talking to this guy, interesting fellow, and they was wanting to do a project where they would build sustainable communities in areas that's really in need of sustainable communities. It's kind of green right now, but if we work it out and can figure it out, it'll be a blueprint that we could use to go back and rebuild our communities and be able to sustain ourselves. You see what I'm saying?
Yes,
Because
sir.
you just can't go and, you know, be in a community and then ain't nobody got nothing there. You see what I'm saying? It will grow, but it's gonna take so much longer to grow.
You need something now.
And well, you know, it ain't gotta be just right now, but it's gotta be something that you can work on right now. You see what I'm getting at?
Yes, sir.
We gotta have something that, you know, we can hit the ground running and say, well, we got this and we need to start that and we need to do this. You see what I'm saying? But you need it's like building your house. You got to have some kind of foundation. You see what I'm saying? To start resting yourself on. And
So,
to me,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, to me,
No, go ahead, Mr. Walpo.
Well, here, let me back up. I was fixing to say, if we got a good foundation, if I got 25 acres of land out here and I got living accommodations for 50 families, you see what I'm saying? Then all we had to do is come up with something for 50 families worth of stuff that they can do, producing their own food or, you know, whatever talents you got, working your talent and not trying to per se build up the community, but each person build up themselves. And as I'm building me up, then I'll help you build you up. And then you go help to build somebody else up. And that way the whole community builds up itself together. You see what I'm saying?
Sounds like
that
plan
way,
to me. That's the only way it's gonna work, really.
Well, that way everybody has got a dog in the fight. See what I'm getting at? If you got a little skin in the game, it make the game a little bit more interesting. If you a betting man and you bet on horses or sports or something, you know, the contest is always more interesting to you if you got $50 on it. You see what I'm saying? Well, your community will be more interesting to you if you got something invested in there too. You get my point? So everybody's got to be able to invest in this community. Everybody's got to have a place where they plug into this community. Go back if you want to get a good look at how a community would run. All you got to do is start going over there and checking out what them Amish people do. Because the way the Amish people living right now is pretty close to the way you gonna be living pretty soon. See?
They ain't ready for it.
Well,
we coming to the end of the hour. I was gonna see if you hit us with some closing remarks.
Huh?
I was saying we get close to the 11 o'clock hour. Well, it's 11 o'clock now. I was gonna say hit us with some closing remarks.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. Y'all, all I can tell you, take care of yourselves. Don't let these white folks trick you with these old nonsense games, trying to use you to fight their wars. Take care of your family. Take care of yourselves. Stay in contact. And let's get through this. That's all we can do, folks. We got to survive.
I thank you. I sure thank you. You put it
Do
on.
what you do.
All right, Mr. Walto. We'll be
Well,
hearing from you again.
It's been good talking to y'all. Hit me up every now and then. See if I've been able to put a decent thought together every now and then. We'll get it together.
Okay.
But
Well,
y'all take care.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Peace.
All right, testing. All right, there we go. All right, that was Mr. Walto. For those that don't know Mr. Walto, and he said some very important things. He hit us with it's too late in the game right now, and we shouldn't be trying to fight these people's war. Right now, we need to try to survive what's coming. There's something coming. And we're not being prepared for it. We're too busy caught in other people's games. I said it, other people's game, and they used us to get their issues across. Now history is repeating itself, and we're not paying attention. So he hit it right on the head. I don't think could have said it any better. Let me see. Some of us that look like us have turned into them. It's hard to unify, but not impossible. It's not impossible because what you want to unify is with home, with the ones that you trust, and you want to build with them. You want to build with your sisters and brothers, and like he said, the ones that you don't even like, you're gonna have no choice after a while. So you might as well just go ahead and start making amends and start trying to get tight to those brothers and sisters. Let's go into next time. We can do it, my brothers and sisters. Thank you to my coach, teachers, to this panel. All right, copper colored tie. Most do want to build with them, yeah. Back to our bartering system, all right. It's a lot of things that we're going to have to incorporate, but it's going to have to be just more than talk, because a lot of these things that we've been talking about for a long time, it's really going to have to be some action taken here. And after talking with Mr. Waltho, I mean, I was thinking about it earlier, but it really made me think, like, what are we going to have to do to protect what we have? We need to be shown protecting instead of tearing down now, because we see that this fight is not about us now. They didn't took it and made it about them. So we need to back off. We need to get the Black Lives Matter out of our communities, and we need to build with who we can build with ASAP, immediately. Well, that's what I got. That's what I got for us today. Yeah, somebody hit me, said they riding on 85. Police officers killed the young brother at the Wendy's last night in the driveway. They showed the whole video. The brother took the taser, ran. The police shot him in the back while he was running away. Now the city is on fire again. So they're doing what they're doing. They're playing their part to get us in our emotions. To get us to say, hey, the police need to stop this. But look, it's other folks fighting. It's more than them than us out there fighting. And they have other agendas. They're using us for their agendas. So I think we have to very much pay attention to what's going on. Right, stay in our lane. That's right. He said they all on the freeway. Guidance in the community, we have to go back. Re-educate our people going door to door. Well, people like to see good, seeing people doing good, and we're going to have to really just make it a trend to do good. I mean, a lot of people, like, for some reason, they done made it not cool to do good, to do right. Oh, look at him. He want to do right. They want to make fun of you, joke you, almost like Idiocracy. If you ever seen the movie Idiocracy, you can say, hey, it's already there. It's almost there. So if you was intelligent, they made fun of you. And we don't want that to be the norm. So until tomorrow, Coach about to get some rest. I've been playing with Adobe. I've been editing my piece for the No Grandma Killers tour. Y'all know this is going to be dope. Oh, this is going to be serious. This is not going to be your regular YouTube bill. I can tell you that. Get your tickets. Go to www.nograndmakillers.com. Get your tickets. Get your clothes. They got the No Grandma Killers shirts, the Trust Grandma shirts, and some other apparel. Check it out. Make sure you get those tickets. They're selling out fast. I'm very thankful for the big response that we had after the COVID-19. And we really want to give you all a great show, something that you will always remember and something that you will be able to build off of. I don't want you to just come out for nothing. I want you all to come out and enjoy yourselves. So until tomorrow, y'all, I'm out, y'all. Peace.